Assalamualaikum and good morning. This is a housekeeping announcement. Okay, for the talk that we are going to have, feel free to ask away if you have any question or comments during the talk, or you can wait for a Q&A session later. And then we will have a photography session later before we end, and this we appreciate it if you could turn on your camera. For all CTS students, don't forget to fill in the attendance form when the link is given. Please stay put as the program will commence shortly. Thank you. Assalamualaikum, Sister Amira.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for the invitation as well. Am I late?
No, it's all right. We will start at 10.
Okay.
So here we have in the room our head of department, Dr. Siti Fatimah Zakaria.
Assalamualaikum, Sister Amira. How are you?
Waalaikumsalam. I'm good. What about you, Doctor?
I'm good. Thank you so much for accepting the invitation.
No problem. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to share about the topic today.
Okay. So we will begin shortly. So
All right.
Lagi beberapa minit.
Okay.
Sister Amira, ada nak try slide ke? Ada nak try slide sharing ke?
Saya cuba. Saya share je. Okay. Okay.
Alright. So we can see.
Okay.
Also the talk will be recorded. Is it okay if we record the talk as well?
Yes, sure.
Okay.
No problem. Okay.
Sister Amira, boleh stop share kejap. Boleh start. Alright, thank you. Okay, can we start? Right. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good morning I bid to our honorable guest, Sister Amira Hazwani Bakri, Counselor from Counseling and Career Services Center, IIUM, Dr. Siti Fatimah Zakaria, our Head of Department of Computational and Theoretical Sciences, fellow lecturers, and lastly, our lovely students. Welcome to the Mentor-Mentee Meetup, or also known as MCUBE version 5.0. Before we move on with our agenda, I would like to invite Brother Kashful Hakim to lead the dua prayer. Please welcome.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الفاتحة أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا ولإخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا ربنا إنك رؤوف رحيم يا أرحم الراحمين. On this blessed morning, in conjunction with this program, we beseech thee and grateful towards you in favor for all the infinite blessing, Ya Allah, your humble servant, to live in safe and prosperous life. We seek your blessing for a flawless progress of this event from the beginning till the end. We seek your guidance to steer clear of event that would detrimental the progress of this event. Ya Latif, Ya Rahman, please bless us with your tawfiq and hidayah. Please guide our beloved department, computational and theoretical sciences of IIUM to greatness, peace, glory, and prosperity in this world and the hereafter. Make us a responsible intellectual, granted us with a valuable knowledge that will be beneficial to mankind in order to gain your mardatillah. Make us your righteousness servant that followed your commands and neglect the sinful act. Please forgive us for our wrongdoing. ربنا عليك توكلنا وإليك أنبنا وإليك المصير. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Amin ya Rabbal Alameen. Thank you, Brother Kashful, for the beautiful dua recitation. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Siti Fatimah Zakaria, our head of department, to convey her remarks. Please welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Faika, for the introduction. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to all distinguished guests, lecturers and students. On behalf of the Department of Computational and Theoretical Sciences, I would like to welcome all of you to this meetup. I would also like to thank the honorable guest, Sister Amira Hazwani Bakri, for accepting our invitation to share the talk on time management. Thank you, Sister Amira. And thank you all for all of you for attending this occasion. We are at the end of the semester, but it is not too late to learn about time management. It is important to all of us, the staff and also the students. I hope everybody is doing well during this pandemic, whether you are at Mahala or at home. And please make sure that you have talked to your mentor at least once for this semester and do not wait until they call you. Okay, as you all aware and aware, adabnya ialah murid mencari guru. Hence, the student should come and talk to the teacher. Even in the Western and non-Muslim country, although it is called code of ethics or code of conduct, they also think the common sense is the student is the one who finds the teacher. So please, for the student, take this opportunity, talk to your mentor. So the CTF staff has always been ready and very cooperative to guide you as their mentee. So take this opportunity. And okay, so without the further delay, I hope that all of you will enjoy and find this session beneficial. I believe Sister Amira is very good in delivering this kind of talk related to the counseling and whatnot. Thank you again, Sister Amira. That's all from me. Thank you. Wassalam. I pass the floor back to the MC.
Thank you, Dr. Siti Fatimah, for the brief and meaningful words. Now, without further ado, let us watch this video created especially for students to introduce our department, CTS True and True. Enjoy. sorry for the technical problem. Let me share back the video with a more clear and refined quality. Share sound. Sorry for the technical problem. Okay, thank you for staying in this program. I hope you enjoy watching the video. Right, here, Dr. Najiha has posted the attendance link in the chat box. So please fill in the attendance. Okay, let me continue. The Mentor-Mentee Meetup is a program where each lecturer is handed with a group of students as his or her mentees. Through this program, we aim to organize a variety of programs that can be beneficial for our students at least once a semester. This time around, as we are still amid the COVID-19 era, where teaching and learning are still conducted virtually, therefore we thought it would be suitable to have a talk on time management during this period. To be honest, not only do students find it difficult to properly manage time and tasks, but even me as a lecturer or human being, a humble human being, would sometimes struggle with it. Thus, the talk that we are going to have in a bit is hoped to be valuable for us all. Our invited speaker today is from the Gombak campus. She is a counselor from Counseling and Career Services Center, IIUM. Without further ado, let's invite Sister Amira Hazwani to deliver her talk. Please welcome Sister Amira.
Thank you, Dr. Naufaika, for the warm welcome. And thank you so much for the invitation as a speaker for this program. And just to respond to the video just now, I'm really impressed with the department. And actually, I'm quite nervous actually to deliver this talk today because there's a lot of lecturers, right? But after the screening, I can see the lecturers look very bright and very welcoming. So I feel like less nervous to deliver the talk. Okay, and I would like to also respond to Dr. Siti Fatima's speech just now. She mentioned that students need to see the mentor, their academic advisors. That is something that yes, students should do as well. Me as a counselor, so I advise students to do so, to discuss about things because many of them came to counselors before they consult their academic advisors first when talking about academic issues. And I believe students at CTS have very welcoming and warm lecturers there, and they are in good hands. Okay, so I will share my screen. Okay, allow me to share my screen. Is my voice clear or is it too soft?
Yes, clear, very.
Clear, okay, all right. So this is the topic that I was given, time management during the COVID-19 pandemic. So just to start off, a self-introduction. Dr. Naufaika already introduced me. I am Amira Hazwani. For students, you can call me Kak Mira, or for academic staff, lecturers, you can call me Mira. I am a counselor at GCSE IIUM Gombak. So I deal a lot with mental health problems, academic issues, and also these are all related to time management as well. So I hope what I'm sharing today will benefit all of you. And if there's any clarification needed or things that you find difficult to understand, you can just write in the chat box. So I will entertain you guys if it is related to the point I'm discussing, okay? All right, so let's move to the first slide. Okay. We've been talking about pandemic a lot. And do we actually understand what is pandemic? So I would like to just give a understanding to everyone. Perhaps all of you or most of you know already what is a pandemic, but just to recap on what is happening around us. So pandemic is a worldwide spread of a new disease and only be declared by the World Health Organization, WHO, okay? So when we talk about pandemic, it is happening worldwide. It is happening around the world, not just us. So, since it's happening around the world, it's not just causing effects on us, but everyone will have the same impact. And it is a new disease, meaning previously we don't even know what is it, okay? And I think earlier when we discovered this disease, we don't even call it as COVID-19. We just know as coronavirus, and there are other names for it. So it is a new disease, and it is causing chaos because it's something unfamiliar to us. So when we are unfamiliar about something, that creates a lot of stress, a lot of mismanagement in humans. Okay, but although we are already experiencing this pandemic for almost 3 years, I believe the effects are still there. And I, as a counselor as well, I'm still experiencing the effects due to the pandemic. And I believe students also are having a lot of stress because they have to adapt to a lot of changes. And so many things are causing stress due to the pandemic. So these are the newspaper headlines throughout the pandemic. Okay, we can see a lot of people getting stressed out, pandemic fatigue, a lot of worries, and rising mental health concerns among teens. So every age group, and it's not just a certain group of people is experiencing mental health issues, but all of us actually, regardless of our socioeconomic status, regardless of our education level, everyone is experiencing stress in certain ways. Okay, perhaps some groups of people experiencing worse effects than the other, but we can't deny that everyone is impacted by this pandemic. Okay, when we talk about the effects of pandemic, there are a lot of them. People losing jobs, people getting abused, and then there are so many other factors causing stress. So we want to look at that. What are the relationship actually between this pandemic and stress? First, adapting to new routines and also changes of lifestyle. Okay, so we have students. Let's take students as example. So before the pandemic, you guys are free. You guys can meet up with your friends. You guys can go to classes. You can have face-to-face lessons. But once the pandemic hits, everything changed. So especially earlier during the pandemic, it's like a drastic change from physical class, and suddenly you have to adapt to online learning. And it can cause more stress to those who are not very good at technology. So they have to learn how to use a computer, they have to learn how to use gadgets. So it's like on top of the academic stress, they have to learn new things to adapt to the changes. So that's what we call as changes of lifestyle and new routines. And when we are facing changes, we will experience this stress called transitional stress. Okay, so anything that is causing us stress due to changes, that is transitional stress. So for example, losing someone significant to us is going to cause transitional stress because we are not familiar of not having them around anymore. And so does pandemic. We are so used to having physical class, suddenly we have to change to online class. That is also transitional stress. Okay, although we are already adapting to the effects, but not everyone are able to manage their stress well. I still have clients, students who came to me because of difficulty to cope with online learning. And I can admit that if I'm a student during this year with this pandemic, I believe it's really hard. And I believe for lecturers as well, it's not easy because you guys have to be in front of the screen most of the time. That's not just impacting your mental health, physical health as well. Okay, and then next we also have uncertainties of the future. What's going to happen next? I put myself as a student. So when this pandemic hits, they're like the plans are delayed. So they're supposed to graduate in certain year, but because of the pandemic, they have to delay. Some have to take leave for study because they can't afford it. They can't focus anymore. So many reasons for students to delay their studies, and this is causing a lot of stress to them. And then we also have fear of getting infected, which is also increasing our stress. I believe during earlier in the pandemic, people are so paranoid. So if they are suddenly coughing, they suddenly feel unwell, they start to question themselves, am I catching this virus? But is that in reality, everyone can feel unwell at any time of the day, just that because this virus had just became very, very serious, people become more paranoid. So the fear of getting infected is causing a lot of stress in people, and some even develop anxiety disorder because of this. Okay, and last one, lacks human contact. As a social being, we as humans, we need social contact. Earlier during the pandemic, because of the lockdown, some people get isolated, nobody to talk to, they are staying alone. This really, really impact mental health, really impact on the stress level. So with good time management, inshallah, we can help with the stress management as well. Okay. So I've been talking a lot about stress, but the topic given was time management. So what does time management has to do with pandemic stress? As I mentioned, if you have good time management, you will be able to manage your stress, because a lot of our stress actually came from mismanagement of time. We feel like we don't have enough time. Everyone have 24 hours a day. So what makes us not have enough time? Okay, so managing time is a key to manage your stress. Okay, so let's talk about what time management is. So I got these definitions from study research papers. So let's look at one first. Okay, time management is a completion of tasks or activities in a given time. You can obtain quality results, but you have to go through planning, organizing, and prioritizing. So there are a set of things you need to do in order to complete your task. Okay, you can obtain quality results. So those are the things you want to achieve to complete your task, to get a quality result. But you need to plan, organize, and prioritize things in order to achieve that. So that is time management. And another study says time management is a series of processes that are executed in order to achieve established objectives. So we can see the similarities in these two definitions, in which we want to achieve something. We want to achieve our goal, objectives, but it must involve process. It must involve our effort. So time management requires our effort. If we don't have effort, then there'll be no time management. So the fact that you guys are here to listen to this talk shows that you have effort. So good job, everyone. Okay, so time management involves all of this. It involves reminders. You have to remind yourself, I'm managing my time. I need to follow this. Reminders. Alert. Be alert of your schedule or the plans that you have made. You need to plan what I need to do today. So a lot of planning, prioritizing. You have to have priorities. If you don't have priorities, you will not have a good plan. Okay. Controlling. You are able to control your time. So that's why you're able to manage your stress. And efficiency. The more you manage your time, the more efficient you are. Okay. So a lot of these have to do with time management. Okay. Now, let's talk about how time management can manage your stress better. So first, time management allows you to plan ahead and minimize predictable stress. So when you have good time management, you know what is next instead of just go with the flow. Because when you go with the flow, sometimes it causes you stress because you can't expect what's going to happen next. And you just be prepared once the thing happens instead of be prepared before anything happens. So that's why it says you are able to plan ahead and minimize predictable stress. Because in our daily life, of course, we know what pattern will come. So those are predictable stress. We are able to prepare for it. And we also have to understand with predictable events, there must be unpredictable things that may happen. So if you are able to minimize the predictable stress, you are going to be much better at managing your stress when unpredictable things happen. Okay, so lesser stress there when you have good time management. Okay. Next one. Oops. Okay. All right. And time management can give a sense of control. So when we are having this pandemic, a lot of us feels less motivated. We feel like we have lesser control over things. For example, when you go for online classes, it's something that is out of your control. You can't ask the lecturer to do physical class. So you have to follow what is given, what is instructed for you to do. And that creates less or lack of power in you. We have lose your sense of control. But in fact, there are things that you can control actually, like your time. So when you're able to master the act of time management, you can start to feel that I do actually have control over my life. I do have sense of control. Okay, let me just explain a bit about this psychological theory about losing sense of control. We call that as learned helplessness. Okay, usually people or patients with depression, they experience this a lot, learned helplessness, in which they feel like they don't have choice. So whatever happens to them, they just accept it because they feel like I don't have control over this. So let whatever happen. So they just like we call as redor, okay, redor with whatever happened. When in fact they do have control actually. They just need guidance. They just need reassurance that there are things you can control in life. Okay. So with time management, I'm not saying that if you're depressed, you have to start managing your time. No, I'm just saying that time management is a part of our life that gives us a sense of control. Okay, because we all have 24 hours a day. We can control, we can manage how we use that 24 hours per day. Okay, we just need some planning. Just now I mentioned planning, prioritizing, controlling, so all of that. Okay, if you're able to manage your time, inshallah, your stress is manageable. Okay. All right. Next, it helps to keep your priorities in balance. Okay, if we look at the previous slides, we talk about the relationship between stress and pandemic. One of them is lacks human contact. Okay, so human contact is a priority that some people overlook on. So if you know your priorities, you are able to put time for the priorities that you have set. So when you have time management, you know what you need to do first, you know what you need to do later, because the priorities are set. So we need to know which task is the most important ones first, which task is less. So it helps to be in balance. Okay, when we talk about priorities, there are many things included, not just studying, our work, but our time with family can be our priorities as well. Me time, rest time, those are all priorities. But sometimes we only focus on the things that we are so familiar with, like studying. Because studying is something that everyone is pushing you to do. Okay, like okay, you have to study, you have to score. So that is a priority that you think is the most important ones, and you disregard the fact that you need to rest, the fact that you need to connect with your family. So when you have time management, you can see all of this. You can set down what are the priorities that I have actually, apart from the ones that I am pressured to do. Okay, so this is one of the things which will be helped when you have time management. Okay, next one. Okay, it reduces the worries about your progress. So when you have time management, you will allocate time for certain tasks. Okay, when you know, okay, at this time, from this time to this time, I will only do maybe, for example, if you have assignments, I will only do 1 page, and then I'm going to rest. And the next time I'm going to continue another page, for example. So you don't have to worry that you are not finishing your assignments yet, because you know it is on track. So sometimes we worry too much because we are not able to complete the task that we are given. Okay, it keeps bothering us because whenever we want to rest, we feel guilty because I haven't finished my work. I don't deserve to rest. Okay, the guilt that we create in ourselves is because we don't have plan. So when we have plan, we don't need to complete the task at one shot. We can take time. So 1 hour, I can do this, and then I rest, and then I continue. So you don't have to worry about your progress because you are on track, although you have not finished what you are given. Okay, as long as you know the timeline, as long as you follow the plan that you have set, inshallah, you can have me time, you can have rest time without feeling guilty. And when we talk about time management, it has a lot to do with discipline. Okay, when you have plans, you have to follow the plans. When you have put your priorities, you have to make sure that the priorities are met. So if you don't have discipline, that's where the plan will go haywire. It'll be here and there, and you start to lose motivation again. So you need to be really, really disciplined in order for you to work with time management, in order for you to help with your stress management. So everything comes together. So you can't just plan without having discipline, without having a good mindset about it. Okay, this is really important. Okay. All right, so we have this study. Okay, I take a study paper. So there are a lot of lectures here. I'm very nervous to talk about research paper, but I'll try my best. So I chose this research paper because it was a recent one. 2020, it was published, and it talks about time management and academic stress in Lima University students. So it is very focused in for one group of students at the Lima University. But what interests me with this paper is because it takes into account that the pandemic has already happened during this time. So we can see how time management and academic stress correlate with each other. So because this paper is talking about academic stress, we can also take into account that there are also pandemic stress happening. So multiple stresses happen, and let's see how time management can actually help with the stress faced by students. And most of you guys here are students, right? So maybe with this research paper, you feel more convinced that having good time management can actually manage your stress as a student. So what they did is they recruit students, and this study is really easy. Okay, they just give students questionnaires on time management and academic stress. So there are 2 questionnaires that they have to complete, and then they analyze the results. So what they found is that there is inverse relationship between time management and academic stress, meaning if the students have good time management, they score well on the time management questionnaire, they have lower scores in academic stress. So meaning good time management, lesser academic stress. And I also like this paper because it really talks about student struggle. Okay, if you like this, if you like to read more, you can go to this paper later on. So I just describe a bit on the introduction part of this paper, where they say that academic stress is really, really serious actually. Okay, so some students, they even develop mental health issues like depression, anxiety due to the academic stress. The pressure is too high. So this is just for your information. Maybe it's not so much to do with time management, but because most of you are students, I hope you guys are aware that whenever you feel stressed, you have to find ways to cope with it instead of just waiting for the time for you to explode. Like you keep on bottling it up until you can't take it anymore. So academic stress, it sounds like not so serious compared to like family stress or relationship with your friends, something like that. But it has impacts on your mental health because one, perhaps you have high expectation, or people in your family have expectation on you, and it causes you to have a lot of stress. You want to achieve people's expectation, and it starts to eat you up. So you develop loss of motivation, you feel depressed, you feel anxious every time you think about study. So those are the signs that you need to seek for help. So if you're experiencing academic stress, anything related to academic, just seek for help. I believe there are counselors at your campus as well. So get help if you feel that way, okay? But for you guys that still can manage your stress, you can try time management. It's not too late for you to practice this, okay? You can start anytime. Never too late to start anything good, okay? All right, so again, I would like to stress on time management is stress management. With good time management, you are able to manage your stress better. So I've been talking a lot about the good effects of time management. So maybe it's time for me to share some of the strategies that may be helpful for all of you, okay? So we can do both time management, stress management. They go together. If you're able to manage your time, you're able to have less stress as students, as lecturers, as counselors, for me, myself. Okay, so before that, just to be clear, so the strategies that I will share later on may be beneficial to some of you, may not work to some of you. So that's why we call this as strategies. We need to have multiple strategies, not just one. So if one doesn't work, you can try for the next one, or you can even try, you can combine these strategies together and just try and error. If it doesn't work, doesn't mean you're not good with time management. Perhaps the strategy is not suitable for you. You need to try a different one. So just try one by one, or you can try two strategies at a time. It depends on you, okay? As long as you don't give up, you try to accommodate yourself to the strategies being suggested. Okay. All right, so the first strategy is to create a to-do list. This is something that I still practice as well. Okay, I do this since my study year until now. So there are two ways to do it. First, from the most important task to the least ones in order. So which one is the most important is at the top, and the least one is at the bottom. So from there you can see which one I need to focus on more, which one I need to start first. Okay, it really helps because once you're able to complete the most important ones, you feel relief. You feel like if I can do this, I can do the rest, which is less important. So that gives a sense of motivation for you to keep on going. So create a to-do list from most important ones to the least ones. But if you feel like it's too hard for you to start with the hardest task or the most important ones, it's okay. You can start from easiest to hardest. So it's the same concept. It's just to get you going. It's just to create that momentum going up and to give you a sense that, okay, I managed to finish this one task. There are a few more to go. I can still go. I can still keep on going. Okay, so easiest first to the hardest. It depends on you which one is more suitable, which one is you prefer more. So you can try from the most important task to the least ones first. If it doesn't work, maybe you can try the easiest to hardest. So you can try and error. All right. But when you want to create a to-do list, you can also do like this. You can list down the most important tasks, to the least important ones, just for you to see, okay, which one is more urgent to do first. That one is also helpful as well. Okay. For students, maybe you can list down your assignments from by listing it in order by due dates. Okay, for example, if you need to do this subject's assignment, it's like very near, the due date is very near, you put at the top. So it's like put it in an urgency manner. Okay, so as I mentioned just now, just try and error. Which one works for you? You carry on with that. If it doesn't work, you can try another strategy. Okay. So with the to-do list task, we can also look at this ABC analysis, which also relates to that. So the activities can be ranked by these criteria. Okay, first, tasks are perceived as being urgent and important, like just now I mentioned. And B, tasks are important but not urgent. And C, tasks are neither urgent nor important. So there are many ways actually that you can put in order about the task that you have to do. Okay, so this one, the ABC analysis, helps you to see which one I can just ignore. Okay, I don't need to do at all, which is this one, C. It's neither urgent nor important. For example, maybe we spend too much time on Facebook, on social media. If I don't do this daily, point okay. So when you put it in ABC analysis, you can see tasks that is necessary for you to do and tasks that you can actually ignore. You don't have to do at all, especially when you have a busy week, busy days to commit to. Okay, and then we also have this pickle in a jar method. It's quite the same also. Let's imagine our task as the things in a bottle, in a jar. So we have pebbles, sands, rocks. So when we combine these three components together, we will have this kind of structure in a jar. So there will be pebbles on top of each other, sands in between them, rocks at the bottom, for example, okay? So rocks are for big important tasks. You have to imagine that these are the tasks that I don't have control over. I need to do it. I can't be flexible with it. Sands, they are small, means they are less important. Okay, and pebbles, tasks with average importance. So this is also the same like ABC. It's just to help you visualize how your task looks like in your daily life. Okay, so if you are able to visualize this, it helps you to feel I have control over my time. I know what to do next. I know what I should start with first. Okay, next one. Okay, make a daily schedule. So this is also quite the same with creating to-do lists, but this is more like a structured one. I actually do this during my study years, and until now, I still have this. I'm going to show you guys. I still keep a physical calendar like this. They have like boxes where you can write down the list of tasks you need to do. So this calendar or planner like this really help you to keep on track. So why? First, when you have like this kind of schedule, it allows you to identify the controllable and uncontrollable event. What are the controllables one, and what are the uncontrollable event? Okay, let's talk about uncontrollable first, because we can't change this. For example, our class time, our class schedule, what else? Something that you can't control, like meetings, you can't control that. You can't simply change timing on that. You can't ask the lecturer to cancel the class. So it is something fixed. You can't control anymore. So that is the plan that you need to put in first, because you can't have control over the timing. So in the daily schedule, you put the activity there. Okay, so it is uncontrollable. And when you have put down the uncontrollable ones, you can see which slot is available for you. So this is the controllable part of your time management. It gives you the sense of control. You can see, oh, I do actually have free time. I do actually have time that I can slot in for whatever I need to do or whatever I want to do. For example, this is when You can set in your family time, you can set in your me time, leisure time. So it's very important for you to put down the uncontrollable event first in order for you to see that you actually do have time for yourself. Okay. And it's very important for you to also include time for you to do things that you like, just to keep the motivation going. Okay. And why do I say it's more useful to use a physical calendar or physical planner instead of digital ones? Is that we want to reduce your screening time or virtual apa ni? Digital apps time. Okay, we want you to reduce on that, because for online classes, online meetings, you are in front of a screen most of the time. You want to limit that. We don't want the schedule that you make adds on to your screen time, because when we want to refer to the schedule, we are going to do that often. So let's not add more screen time to us. Let's have a physical one first. All right, so this is a very powerful tool to manage your time. So you can try this one. And if you would like to get cute calendars like this one, just now I showed you, you can get from Kaison. Kaison has a lot of cute calendars if you guys would like to have one. Okay. All right, this is another time management strategies that I think is really, really good for students to practice. So you have to identify most productive time, meaning that when do you feel that you are more motivated to do something, when you are able to be more focused or alert. For example, I give an example using myself as an example. I am a night person, so when it's nighttime, I am able to do more tasks than I am able to during the day. So during nighttime, I will do a lot of important tasks. For example, if I have slides to do for my talk, I will do nighttime. I'm aware that when I do things at night, the quality and the quantity is more than I do it in the morning. So you have to identify that as well. So as a student, if you feel like you are a morning person, you are able to stay alert, stay focused in the morning, perhaps you can use that time to do the important task. For example, maybe you want to finish your assignments, you have a very urgent assignments to do or very hard assignments for you to complete. Perhaps you have to use that productive time so that you can give your all there. Sometimes if we don't identify our productive time, or if we are not even aware of our productive time, we use the time for things that are less important. So it's like a waste of time, a waste of productive time. So it's better for you to allocate this productive time for the important task. So I believe this comes very handy if you practice the to-do list just now. So you know which one is more important or which one you want to do first. So you use that and do the task where you are most productive. You start during your productive time. So once you are able to start, inshallah, the momentum will keep on going and going. You are able to do more than you think you can. Okay, so identify your most productive time to do the most task, to do the most difficult task as well. Okay. Next one, set your priorities. Just now, I already shared about different types of priorities. So as a counselor, I deal a lot with students' problems, including academics. So when I ask them about priorities, most will only answer like study, exam, assignments, but I rarely hear about me time or hobby time, because those are not considered as priorities. And that is why some students feel so demotivated, because all they have in mind is I have to score, I have to complete my assignments, I have to get the best CGPA, something like that. Those are the priorities that some students have. And once they are able to achieve that, for example, even if they are able to achieve a good CGPA, then what's next? Because there's nothing to look forward to anymore. That's why it's very important to set priorities for yourself as well, not just for study, because we are a human being. There are 5 basic needs that human beings need. Okay, we have survival, we have love and belongingness, freedom, fun, and then what else? Power. So in these 5 basic needs that we need as a human being, fun is one of them. So where's the fun in your priorities? There's none if you only prioritize about academics, okay? Sorry. So in your priorities, you need to consider time for yourself as well, not just studying, okay? So once you're able to set your priorities, you have to learn to say no, not just no to other person, to yourself as well. For example, you have allocated time for you to study. So once there's distraction, for example, you feel like, I don't want to study anymore, I need to watch movies, something like that, you have to learn to say no to that, because you already know your priorities and you already allocate time to do other things aside from the priorities at other times. So you have to learn to say no. Okay, that's why I say it's very important to have that discipline when you have time management. And you also have to identify when it is okay to be flexible and when it is not. So once you set time for your priorities, it is time to not be flexible. But when it is not a time for your priority, you can be more flexible with it. Okay, for example, maybe you are not prioritizing snack time, for example. You can change snack time to like exercise time, you can change to rest time. So there are times you can be more flexible with instead of the priorities that you have set. Okay. Okay, next, number 5. Spare time for social connection. This is a very, very important priority you need to make. You have to have social connection. You have to have social interaction with others in your schedule. Because as I mentioned just now, we are human, we are social being, we need to stay connected to people. So in the time management that you have set, at least like once a day, or if not once a day, maybe a week, you have to do like at least 3 times, 4 times. You have to have social interaction with others. It can be a short hangout with friends, family. It can be calling your significant others, as long as you have that connection going. Because lack of social connection can lead to low perceived social support. And people need social support in life to stay motivated. Okay, and as I mentioned, 5 basic needs that we have. One of them is love and sense of belongingness. If we don't fulfill that, we may have issue with our mental health. We may have stress. So in the time plan that you have prepared, always allocate time for social connection. There are many ways for you to achieve this. Okay. All right. This is another strategy that I always advise students, not just students, for everyone, for myself also. We have to set different place for work and rest. Okay. What I mean about this is that if you are familiar with this place as resting place, for example, bedroom. We use our bedroom to sleep. We use our bedroom to rest, okay? But if we use our bedroom to sleep and also to do work, it is going to be less effective, less productive. Why? Okay, this is also a psychological theory, and also it's a bit Want to check up technical, but if you don't understand, later on you can ask me, okay? I'll try my best to explain in the simplest way. So this is what we call as association or pairing. So when we have two stimulus together and we pair them together for some time, we start to associate these things together as the same thing. For example, so we always go to our bedroom. So once we go to bedroom to study, the pairing is not that strong. The pairing is like the pairing of bedroom and sleep is higher for bedroom and studying. So that's why some of us will feel like we want to rest, we want to sleep when we are trying to study in our bedroom, because our body has already associated with bedroom and sleeping time, rest time. So it is going to be harder for you to focus in your bedroom and you can't study as efficient. So that's why you have to set different place. If you want to work, you want to focus with your assignments, you want to study, you have to set a different place. Okay, I understand some people, especially students who are staying at home for online classes, perhaps your bedroom is the only place that you can study, you can do your assignments. So you have to make a more specific, distinguished place for you to study and rest. Maybe in the bedroom, never do work on the bed. Okay, bed is only for sleeping, for resting. The table is for work purpose. Okay, you have to really distinguish between the places that you work and rest. We don't want to create the association between, okay, bedroom is for sleeping only. So you have to distinguish that. We don't want to have the pairing to interfere with your study mood. Okay. Next one, self-reward. This is so important. And some students, they don't even reward themselves after they achieve something, even a mini goal, small goal. For example, okay, I managed to start on my assignment. So even if you just started, that is already an achievement. Okay, although it feels like there is something I'm supposed to do, why should I celebrate? That is actually an achievement, although it's really small. You need to reward yourself just to keep the motivation going. Okay, reward yourself doesn't mean that you have to buy yourself things, you have to treat yourself every time. No, it's just that doing something that you like small things. For example, watching YouTube video for like 5-10 minutes, make it a big deal. Okay, although it is something that is not really an achievement to you, but the fact that you start something is actually a goal being achieved. Okay, so reward yourself. It creates the sense of achievement and you want to do it again and again. So at first, with self-reward, at first it seems like you keep on trying to motivate yourself with something external, but later on, as you practice this, you will develop internal motivation going on. You don't need to reward yourself with external things anymore. It comes within you. It is what we call as internal motivation. Okay. So what does this have to do with time management? Whenever you are able to follow, whenever you are able to be disciplined with your time management, the reward that you give to yourself will help to keep you going and going. Okay, you build the motivation and you will be able to commit to the plans that you have made for yourself. Okay, it's very important to reward yourself every time. And with self-reward means you need to have goal as well. So every time you have mini goals, reward yourself. Goals, reward yourself. Okay. Since we have time, I would like to share this another strategies. I believe this is a very good video for you guys. Maybe I'll just show you. I will skip to the important part lah. This is what we call as RAC theory. Okay, let me skip to this part.
Will help you manage it more effectively. We're going to help you learn how to do just that. Today on Wellcast, we're going to get you in control of your day with our RAC method: recording, analyzing, and changing. 3 easy steps to great time management. Pause and print a copy of our handy Wellcast day planner. Finish printing? Let's dive in. Step 1, recording. When you wake up tomorrow, note the time in your day planner. As the day progresses, write down everything that you do. Yes, we mean everything. The 10 minutes you spent getting dressed, the half day of productive work, the hours you spent between social networking sites, we mean it all. Keep this up from the time you wake up in your day. Be honest with yourself. You spent a half an hour by the coffee machine talking to your coworker. You spent an hour on Facebook, and you stared into space for 20 minutes. Come on, you get the picture. Especially focus on the time wasters at work. Why? A study published by the British Medical Journal says that workplace stress is minimized by effective time management. It also says that workplace stress
Sister Mira, video tak keluar
Video
suara.
tak, audio tak ada.
Oh ya ke tak keluar suara? Sorry. Dah lama ke tak keluar suara?
Dia macam on off.
Oh ya ke? Sorry kejap. Saya try to play again from step 1.
Okay, thank you.
note the time in your
Okay.
day planner. As the day progresses, write down everything that you do. Yes, we mean everything. The 10 minutes you spent getting dressed, the half day of productive work, the hours you spent between social networking sites, we mean it all. Keep this up from the time you wake up until you go to sleep. Step 2, analyzing. At the end of the day, go through the schedule and highlight any chunks of time that you don't feel were used productively. Pick out your 5 biggest time wasters in your day. Be honest with yourself. You spent a half an hour by the coffee machine talking to your coworker. You spent an hour on Facebook, and stared into space. You get the picture. Especially focus on the time wasters at work. Why? A study published by the British Medical Journal says that workplace stress is minimized by effective time management. It also says that workplace stress bleeds over into home life and undermines a relaxed life. Here's the ugly part. Add up all the time you wasted. How much productive time did you blow on activities that got you no results? Step 3, changing. Now it's time to come up
Maybe
with a
kena
way that
share
time back.
sound.
Share sound?
Share screen dengan share sound.
Okay. Dengar tak kalau yang ni?
3 ways to change your
Yes.
time-wasting habits
Okay.
and become a better
Tadi tak
Tadi
dengar ke?
Sebab tadi unmute kan, so dia macam unmute, dia hilang.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Tapi korang dapat ke the message here? Dapat
time manager. Prioritize. To-do lists are a really effective way to manage your time and your priorities. Limit the number of tasks you have on this list to 5 and assign rankings to them in order of importance.
Okay. Then I'll just briefly talk about this strategy. So tadi dia cakap RAC kan, RAC. So R is actually record. So you have to record your daily activity list. So this will take more time actually, tapi it will help your behavior over the time. So awal-awal tu you have to make effort lah. You have to record your activities, daily activities. For example, okay, today I dress up. How long do I take to dress up? So if 10 minutes, is it too long enough? Is it too long or is it okay to spend 10 minutes on dressing up? So we have to record on the timing that we do something, we do a task. And then after we have the list, okay, we have the list of things we do in a day, we analyze. So that is A, R-A, analyze. Analyze, macam tadi I mentioned, 10 minutes, is it too long or is it okay? How can I minimize the time? So analyze all the things you did, analyze the timing you used to spend on a task, and also analyze whatever the task or whatever the actions that you did in a day that you think you should not do at all. For example, just now, like this one kan, daydreaming, you are gossiping. So those things are also you need to take into consideration if you want to manage your time more effectively. And lastly is change. Last one is change. Yeah. Okay, change. So after you analyze everything, you have to make a change. Okay, I know this is something is not productive. I don't have to do it. So change in the next day after you analyze. And then analyze again. How does your life go after you make a change using this method? It may take time in the beginning, but after that, you will see how your life change with this method. Okay, so that is a REC method. Record, analyze, and change. Okay. So as a conclusion, the better the time management, the lesser the stress, inshallah. But as I mentioned, the strategies, there are many strategies. So you just have to try and error. If one doesn't work, try a different one. So don't give up and always put an effort for the time management. You need to have the effort in order to be successful in it. Okay, so that's it from me. Thank you so much.
Right. Thank you, Sister Amira, for the enlightening talk. And I hope we can take in and adapt as many things that we learned today in our daily life. Now, we would like to open a Q&A session. If any of you have a question or comment or anything you want to share regarding this topic, please speak up, or you can also type in the chat box. We also have live on Facebook. Let me see if we have any question there. Any questions? This is your opportunity. So
I ask.
Yes. Can you introduce your name and your year? First year, second year, third year.
My name is Siti Malia and I'm first year. I want to just now Sister Amira has mentioned about the time management. So I think a lot of students have a difficult time for manage their time. So even we have do the REC, which is the record analysis and change. So how I think like we don't know which one, either we morning person or a night person, or can sister share about your suggestion, how can we manage it without we give a difficult to others, like we have the due date for the assignment and we will contact with our classmates, so our group mates. So if we don't have a good time management, I think the group mate will have a lot of difficult too. So I want just to know about how we manage without give difficult to our friends. Thank you.
Okay, so from what I understand is that there are tasks that we need to do with others that may give burden to others as well. So meaning that if we can't manage our time well, that may affect our group mates, for example, right? So I believe if individually we start with time management for ourselves, it will benefit our teammates, group mates as well. Because, for example, we put down the priorities, right? So let's say we really prioritize our group assignment because we don't want to burden our friends. So we can put that as our priority. Okay. So we put as our priority to do the group assignment first. And with that priority given, we can break it down even further. For example, okay, what is my part? And how do I manage my time to do my part well? Maybe in a day, you said like, okay, 1 hour, I need to do this group assignment, and then I can rest. So continue from there. So when you manage to put that as a priority and you break it down to manage your time to do the part that you need to complete for your parts, that may help with your group mates as well, because you've done your part. In a group assignment, you don't have to put all the burden on you because this is a group task. Okay, even if you manage your time well, but your group mate does not, that's not something that you have to put the burden on for yourself only. Okay, it's a group assignment, so you do your part, others do their part, and you guys have to encourage each others only. Okay, so one of the tips is to put that as one of the priorities, or if you really want to help your group mates, maybe slot that in as one of the top priorities that you need to do. Okay, so that is my suggestion. Hope that helped.
Thank you, sister. But
Mhm.
we also know that when we have in a group, so we have two side of story or two side of us. So which means we think we want to do this one first. Then at the same time we think that that's my part of job, and in group assignment I have done yearly, but we still think like, oh, aku dah siap benda ni, tapi like what you can say, we will have somebody else to
Delay.
cover. Yes, so so that other people will cover up for us like that. So
Okay. I think this is not so much to do with time management actually. This is more like a free rider punya issue, right? Right. Because okay, if we want to talk about time management, we only can have control within our time. Okay. So for example, if you are talking about group assignments, you already done your part. That's good. That means you are managing your time well. Okay. But when we want to talk about free rider ni, this is an issue on them, not the time management itself. So perhaps that is something out of the time management part, but I always believe that you have to report with pre-riders. They need to learn the lesson. Okay, you don't have to put the burden on you. This is group assignment. Inshallah, you can discuss with your academic advisor on this. Okay, as long as you manage to complete your part, that's very, very good.
like myself, like I have already done, but before I continue university degree, I delay my study for a year. So my time with when I enter the degree is different. So I have do the my schedule with the class. So sometimes it's not I'm not to follow the schedule, like rasa macam nak buat macam ni, buat macam ni. Kalau rasa macam okay, waktu macam kelas selalu petang, so bila kelas habis okay, lepas habis okay, nak makan apa semua tu, tapi pada masa yang sama kena ikut schedule tu. So dia kadang-kadang sebab because I'm not a night person, I'm morning person. So when I start to change myself, my daily life with a night person, so I getting tired when I in the morning. So I just don't know how to manage the time correctly. Follow with my schedule.
So meaning you have to follow other schedule, is it? Kalau group assignment.
Dia macam kuih part ni dah siap dah yang ni, and then patut tarikh ni waktu ni buat macam ni tapi jadi buat benda lain. So jadual yang saya buat tu tak berjadi. Macam tu. Kira jadual diri saya sendiri tak menjadi.
Okay, that's why I mentioned just now. If you try it, you make a strategy, you have plan. It doesn't always have to work. You have to make a change. Whenever it doesn't work, you have to change. You can't just follow. Okay, for example, okay, aku dah buat plan ni, aku kena buat, aku ikut je. Tapi tak menjadi, it doesn't work. So why do you have to stick with that? You have to make changes. That's why with plans comes with changes as well. If it doesn't work, you have to change. You know yourself, you're a morning person. But perhaps you have to follow your friend's schedule because it's a group assignment. This comes the discussion part, communication. Okay, you and your partner mungkin ada different productive time. It is something that you need to discuss with your partner because you know, okay, if I do this in the morning where I am most productive, inshallah, the quality of the work and the time spent on the work akan lebih produktif, akan lebih banyak you siap within that time. So this is something you need to communicate with your group partners. Okay.
Okay, I know. Okay, thank you, sister.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Siti
Okay.
Moralia. Because there are controllable and uncontrollable factors as well, kan? That's why
Betul.
kita plans tapi ada certain things we cannot.
Betul.
Okay. There are questions in the chat box. Okay, first question from Fauzan to Mirafilza.
Oh, Mirafilza.
He said, have anyone told you that you seem like Mirafilza? Right, Fauzan has two questions. The first is, during online class, we don't get to meet our classmates. How do you suggest students to keep human interaction between us? And secondly, for controlling our discipline, sometimes we ourselves just cannot do it alone. How do you suggest us to overcome this?
Okay, I got a lot of this about interaction. Students nowadays, you have very limited interaction with your classmates, and some don't even know how the classmate looks like because it's only through screen, right? So this is something you can't control. So how you want to maximize human interaction? Of course, through the screen again. This is the only way we can do. So with things that we can control, we can also try to think of how we can manage this. What is within our control? Within our control memang through online platforms. We get to know them there. There's nothing much we can do lah, except if you guys live close to each other, you can meet each other up and do group assignments together, things like that, then that is something you can manage and you can do. But other than that, I'm really sorry to say, but there's nothing we can do about this. Okay. Secondly, discipline. Discipline is very, very hard. How to overcome this? Okay. Just know that it's okay to make mistake. For example, we already have plans, okay, but as human, we have the desire to do something else. Contohlah, nafsu lah kan, macam okay, kita dah on track with our schedule. Suddenly rasa macam, I cannot do this anymore. So we get off track. That's okay. You don't have to feel like, oh, I make a mistake. Dah lah, malas lah nak ikut schedule dah. So that is because you can't accept making mistake. So even if you have lost motivation to follow your schedule, it's okay. We are humans, we make mistake. Even though we can't follow the plan, it's okay. You can try again tomorrow. So just give your time. So just give yourself ruang, space to make mistake. So you can restart again the next day, or if you think it doesn't work again, change the routine or change the strategies. Sometimes we feel like there we can't commit because the strategies doesn't work on us. Okay, that is a factor also. Not because we are not disciplined, it just doesn't work. So if there are strategies that work with us, perhaps that will make us more motivated to stay with the plan, and you will develop discipline there. So number one, memang I will always advise it's okay to make mistake. It's okay to stay off track sometimes. You can restart again and again. Okay.
All right. Right. Thank you, Fauzan, and thank you, Samira, for answering the question. And we have another question from Ihsan Hamzah. Assalamualaikum, Sister Amira. I'm wondering if we separate our study room from our bedroom, then we might never feel like entering that study room.
Okay. Is it like traumatizing whenever I see that room? I have to study. Okay. So actually, it's not that bad. Actually, it's just for you to like condition yourself to the environment. For example, you go to classroom. You go to class, of course, you ada this mindset. Okay, I need to study. So you go to class, you have that mindset that I need to focus. Although at times we have difficulty to focus, but at least we know when we go there, this is the purpose to study. So ada tak you rasa trauma to when you see your classroom? Tak kan? So it's not going to be like that. And if you feel like it is a scary thing to do, that's why I said you have to have reward. So if you know studying is something hard for you to do, you have to reward yourself. So pair that. So whenever I study, I get my reward. So we create a new pairing. As I mentioned just now, we have that association going on with our mind. Okay. All right.
All right. Thank you, Ihsan, for the question. And lastly, the last question, I hope, kan?
Yeah.
Okay. From Rahma Hayati, what if we already write the schedule for our time management, but then sometimes we are too busy doing the assignment without looking back at the schedule?
Okay. Okay. So what do you think? Do you think this is good for you or not? Okay. I am not very strict with schedules. So let's say you feel like I'm doing the assignment, I'm so focused, I managed to do more than I should, and tak ikut pun study plan. If you feel that is okay, then just carry on. As I mentioned, you can change, you can make amendments to your study plan. So even if you have you sort out your priorities ke, you already list down what you need to do, but if you think this is better than the plans that you have made, just carry on. Sebab doing the assignments more than you should mungkin create a sense of satisfaction kat you. Or if you can finish terus within one time, you akan have more time to do something else later on. So you can make amendments later on. So that is something you have to decide. Okay?
Okay. So Irfan, yes, can you, Irfan wants to ask the last question. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, Assalamualaikum. My name is Irfan. I am first year student. I want to ask about the stress management. Yeah, as
Okay.
we know that nowadays we have online class. So we will face everything in online. So based on that, we will face a lot of things and a lot of humans behavior. So what I can say, we don't have a lot of friends. For me, especially like me, like now we already near the end of this semester, but I did not know all of my classmates yet. I did not recognize. So that's for me. But there's some people that's introvert. You know the introvert. So the introvert one, they do not have someone to talk with. So how can they manage themselves even without tell or expose their feeling or problems to others?
Okay, so this is more on stress management kan, because when you are first year student, so you start off with memang online class, you don't get to meet your lecturers, your friends face to face. It's just through screen and there's very limited interaction going on. So I understand the struggle that you face, especially you mentioned you are an introvert. So it's hard to make friends without even seeing them first. Okay, so it's okay for now. I think when you have like group assignments kan, there is a way for you to connect with your classmates. So that is one of the ways. So perhaps from there you can get to know them a bit, and then mungkin dalam class when there is like Q&A session ke, or when there's time for you to interact, use that time to get to know them. Not just to get to know them lah, it's just that a start for you to interact. Okay, try to make an effort to ask questions ke, to answer questions, just to keep the interaction going, because as I mentioned, this is beyond our control. We can't suddenly ask for physical class. So what we can do is to just participate as much lah in the class. And then because you said it's like you are introverted, it's hard for you to open up. It's okay. So introverts doesn't mean you have to change yourself into someone who is vocal, who suddenly like share everything. So if you try to do that, it's going to put pressure on you. Just stay who you are. You don't have to open up a lot of things. Maybe one day when you find someone you are able to connect with, you will find the right time to be as open as you can. But you don't have to change yourself into someone who needs to be talkative ke. No, you just stay as yourself and just do what you can to interact with others. Macam I said just now, participate in class. That is how you can get the engagement going. Okay, so nanti bila dah masuk physical class, you can try to make friends by interacting face to face pula. So start now, it's okay, just to keep yourself familiar with interacting with others. So just make a start dulu. Okay.
All right. Okay, I want to add something. So by interacting or participating in the class, maybe you can also turn on your camera while talking, kan, so that your friends can see your face.
Betul.
And while engaging for group assignment or group task, maybe you can call them, so let them hear your voice instead of messaging. And okay, so I think that's all of the questions that we have. Okay, I would like to remind all students to fill in the attendance form. And before we end, I would like to invite all of you here, lecturers and students, to turn on your camera for a photography session. So in the chat box, I have posted Zoom background. You feel free to use that. Okay.
Okay, let me change my background.
We have 8 pages. Right. Ada lagi? Still tak penuh ni. Sekejap. 7 pages. Okay. Okay, ready? Mana? Print screen ya. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Please, sekejap. Hilang. Another one. One more time. Okay. Ada tak? On second page. Kejap one more time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Alright. Sekejap, second page. My second page. Okay, ready? 3. Second page ada Farina Khadijah, Izzati Syamimi, Wan Fairuz, Muswan, Irfan. Siapa lagi? 1, 2, 3. Okay, yang lain tak turn on camera. Nak tangkap semua ke? Semua, right. Semua, third page, print screen, paste. Fourth page, print screen. Oh, banyaknya. Fifth page. Sixth page. And 7 last page. All right. And we have all the screenshots. All right. Okay, once again, I would like to remind you to fill in the attendance form. Okay. As we have come to the end of the program, on behalf of the organizer, we would like to thank especially our distinguished guest, Sister Amir Hazwani, for being with us today. Also, thank you all for your participation today and see you in the next MCUBE. Thank you and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'll end the meeting in 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.